we have a terrible problem. Luckily, there's no pictures, so I can show all this on stream. I'm gonna flashbang you guys in a little bit. We got a problem. We have a censorship problem when it comes to the current gaming landscape. It's been happening with other mediums as well. It happened with, unfortunately, for those who watch it and care about it, because I don't, but I knew that it could be an issue because I'm not a big fan of censorship, pornography, and payment processors getting in the way of people purchasing it, right? Buying it in some way. Now, when you don't care about something because it doesn't affect you, that's when people begin to overreach and continue to push censorship and policing ideologies. If something is illegal, in my humble opinion, if something isn't illegal, I believe you should be allowed to consume it at your own discretion, and we shouldn't have any say in that in any way unless there's some sort of a government regulation against it. That's just me, personally. Neither of these things right now affect me, but I do want to talk about them because they're important, because who knows how far this censorship could push. It pushed from pornography and even things like content creation, which we'll have to call pornography as well, when it comes to OnlyFans and their holy, what a fucking message, and their slight debacles with Visa and Mastercard a couple of years back that they had to rescind. And now, unfortunately, the payment processor is coming after your favorite website. If you didn't know, if you haven't been in the know, Visa and Mastercard are forcing Steam to take down Steam and itch.io if you're an indie game fan, indie game junkie, and you like the small, cheap, or even sometimes free games that are indexed on itch.io. They are forcing Steam's hand and itch.io's hand to take down certain games, or they will remove the ability to process payments. Those are the two biggest payment processors in the world, only right behind PayPal, or right ahead of PayPal. Okay, so that means if they lose the two biggest payment processors in the world, it becomes extremely hard to do business on a larger scale, especially legally and above board. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I haven't seen any of my favorite games go down. What are you talking about? None of the things in my Steam library are being removed from Steam. Like, I have all of my games. Last time I checked, I think I had 118. I can go over here and boom. Yeah, I still have 118 games. I didn't lose any of my games. That's weird. Like, what are you on about? Well, it's a very specific type of video game that they're removing that does not affect me, but I don't like the overreaching standard that they are setting with this new policy change. It comes from a group, but we'll first talk about the kinds of games because I do think it's kind of funny. Well, we can look at the names of a few of the games and see what's being removed from Steam's store. I don't want to really say the names. You guys can do it in your head, or you can look at the screen, but I don't feel like saying any of these. You've just been flashbanged, by the way. These have all been, very recently, removed from Steam's catalogs. Very low quality, let's call them low quality porn games. Adult content games. Very low quality, most of them. And they're abundant. They're a very common, new to store, already removed this one. They're a very common type of game that exists on Steam and itch.io, right? A lot of people play on PC specifically because they have access to adult games that you don't have access to on something like Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation. Where's the high quality ones? You're a freak, for real. I don't personally give a fuck about porn games. I don't care about porn games. I don't care about hentai games. They don't matter to me. But I do think that this is a vast overreaching of non-government bodies. If a government body says that these need to be removed and that these shouldn't be accessed, different. I don't really like it. Still takes away from our civil liberties, but maybe there's good reasons for it. And I voted these officials into power, so I guess them's the breaks. That's what I have to hold. I did not vote Visa and Mastercard conglomerates into power. which means that I do not want them having a say over what I am allowed to buy and what I am allowed to consume with my money. Their one job is supposed to be to process the payment and make a small amount of money and shut the fuck up. That's what they're supposed to do. That's it. They have one job. Their job is not to be a moral police or an arbiter of justice and truth and seek equivalence for all countries that some ban pornography and some don't. Do the laws of your region and your region alone, or the region you were doing business in alone. And I think that that really is what matters here. Now, why am I talking about this? As I've just said, I don't watch pornography. I don't care about fucking hentai games. Neither of these things truly affect me all that much. What happens when, instead, they're no longer censoring video game sex, video game adult content? What happens when now they want to censor politically charged video games, right wing or left wing? What happens when they now want to censor? Sure, I mean, that's not entirely the point, but yeah, let you guys goon for sure. Yeah, stick it to the man, whip it out. What happens when they start going after violent video games, or video games that depict war or depict violence with guns, because some countries don't have legal guns? What happens then? What do we do? Do we continue to say, well, it's not affecting me yet because all I play is Mario Party, Mario Kart, and Fortnite? Or do we start to see that there is clearly a place where this is coming from control? This is about controlling the narrative and the choices of people. I don't want to get all political and tinfoil hatty, but let's be honest. What the fuck does a group like Collective, whatever their name is, fuck them. That's how little I care about that group. I mostly care about them, Visa and Mastercard bending the knee to that Australian group. I don't remember the name of it. Someone put it down in the comment section. Whatever. Fuck them. A group of Australian Karens. Fuck them bitches. So, what does Visa and Mastercard at all have to do with me wanting to play something like Mortal Kombat or Invincible Versus when that comes out? Lots of blood. That's scary. Mouth washing. There we go. Look at the games that are already being censored, already being pulled down. This isn't stopping at sexual content. Many a times, people have tried to control the distribution and content allowed in video games. That's how the ESRB and PEGI rating system were fucking created. You look at a game like Mortal Kombat and you wonder, how did they let this get made? Because there was no ESRB rating system until around the time Mortal Kombat was being released. Because then they then realized, oh shit, not all games are for children. Not all games are for teenagers. Not all games are for developing brains. If you are a grown-ass adult using a platform, I believe you should be able to buy whatever the fuck you want on it outside of illegal things. I don't care. All this does is force people to get craftier with how they purchase games, where they get their games, or we all go back to having disk drives on our computers and people actually burn games onto disks, which could be the best case scenario, if I'm quite honest. I like physical games. That'd be cool. I wouldn't mind having a stack of physical, not porn ones though. Like, I just mean like if I have to have a problem with playing violent video games, right? A lot of the video games I play are shooting games and fighting games, and those are intrinsically more violent than something like a Mario Party, Mario Kart, some sort of a 3D platformer, or a party game with friends and family. I have more to worry about because I could be burning CDs. Yeah, I'm about to be 30, gang. God dang it. I'm closer to the line than a lot of people when it comes to what is next, potentially on the chopping block for payment processors to remove from distribution sale, have pulled down, so that they can force more companies to bend the knee. I've already heard that a lot of people are getting in contact with payment processors and expressing grievances and talking about taking political action, because this is a form of monopoly and, tampering. If you have a problem with this, you should probably also do the same. If you don't think you have a problem with it now, but you think about the fact that some of your games might have might be on the chopping block later, you should think about this. You should care about this. It is important because you never know when your favorite horse girl racing game, Anatsume Derby, could be targeted next. The anime horse girl game could be next. It's not about what you spend your money on. It's about control. Yeah, just like Kami said. It's all about the control of what people are allowed to consume. It's the same way most modern media is washed down a certain way or is portrayed a certain way so that the narrative is skewed in a direction that is most favorable to those who are in control of whatever powers it be. Like I said, I don't want to get all tinfoil hat, get so out crazy guy. But I do want people to fight back against injustices about things that they care about. So if you love video games in any way and you like the freedom to buy the video games that you want without anyone giving you any grief, do this now. Say something about it now. Speak up, make some noise about it, talk about it, get in contact with Visa and Mastercard customer service lines. Don't be particularly mean to them because it's not on them. From credit companies at all? Yeah, it is weird. But it doesn't come from credit card companies. It comes from a group of Karens in Australia that got together and forced the hand of credit card companies. It's the same way something like a YouTube adpocalypse exists. Okay, a YouTube adpocalypse does not happen because the advertisers see something and pull out. The advertisers are told about something that could be risky to have their brand, could be risky to have their name on, could be a liability, and then they start pulling out. The same way with Twitch, right? Too much political racy content, too much adult content on the platform. Why would you want a Pamper ad or a Coca-Cola ad next to a lady on Twitch swinging her fun bags right under the camera line so that no one can see? You don't. Probably. I mean, I don't think a Coke ad in that don't. I mean, niggas are thirsty and they're watching it, so they probably need a Coke. And I don't know if you knock her down hard enough, maybe she needs. Maybe you guys are gonna need to buy Pampers. I'm not entirely sure. I think that those are maybe bad examples, but I digress. Companies usually pull out of supporting things or payment processors pull away from websites when they are told that something is a liability or a risk. So we have to show them or tell them that there is no liability or risk when it comes to these purchases. Now, and I think to myself, how often do we think hentai games are refunded more than any other game, especially on a platform like Steam? I'm going to say not as likely, right? I refund games way more often than any gooner I know. Okay, I know some people that they have 3 times the Steam library as I do, but they have the same amount of normal games that I have. I have 118 games. I got a few friends that got that many normal games, but they got a lot more non-normal games than that. And they got a lot of them. That don't sound like they're refunding them. I know it's anecdotal evidence, but I can name like 4 people. I'm not gonna out anybody like that, but I could absolutely name 4 people who dig themselves some hentai games, dig themselves some, adult content games. And that's cool, whatever, that's their prerogative. Because we live in a free society where you are allowed to buy things that are not illegal on whatever platform you want. And I would like for it to stay that way. And I hope that you guys want it to stay that way. And if you do, say something about it. Speak up. Don't just sit there like a lump and wait around for your favorite kind of game to be attacked next. Because we've already had attacks on violent video games before. The correlation that violent video games, it's me, I'm the non-outed people. Do you actually have more hentai games than you have normal games? I refuse to believe that. I think you have more normal games than hentai games. You probably have some hentai games, but there's no way you have more hentai games than normal games. That was Creeper that said that. I don't have my chat on screen for some reason. Yeah, so imagine something like Baldur's Gate 3. Imagine Cyberpunk 2077 with the small amount of sexual content that exists in it. What if those are removed from sale? How would you then feel? GTA was almost removed from sale. Manhunt 2 had to be toned down. The amount of violence in it and the amount of human violence had to be toned down in it for it to lose its adult-only rating and be able to go to consoles. What if instead you just couldn't buy it at all because the payment processor said no? So it just has to be removed from the platform. Are you ready for that future? Because I'm not. See something? Say something. This is the best neighborhood watch you could ever have, okay? Any other neighborhood watch, I think you're a bitch, I think you're a snitch, and I hope you fall in a ditch. Bars. But this neighborhood watch, we're all in agreement. We all shake hands. We're all in agreement that this is a good thing, that we need to say something so that this Visa Mastercard situation does not get worse. Thank you. I appreciate you guys for shaking my hand. Okay, we're all in agreement. And since you already shook my hand and you've watched the video, I think you should also thumbs up the video. And then I think you should also hit the little red button, boop, and subscribe. And there's a little bell. You should keep that on because I don't, no one takes Cyberpunk away from me. Yeah, I mean, look, if you just have it like locally on your computer, yeah, no one can take it away from you. True. But imagine a world where it does get taken away from you. That's not what you want. It's exactly not what you want. Anyways, I've yapped about this enough. I don't really have much more to say on the topic. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, get this out there, create more traction about it. If you're a content creator, big or small, talk about it, just keep it going. I don't want to see more censorship in media I care about. I don't want to see more censorship in anything, but I am damn sure going to start with the things I care about. Anyways, this has been Beanie Thuggish for the YouTube. Kind of covering something a little more serious than normally things that I talk about. Signing out and saying, speak up, say something, and peace.